If keto worked for you, and then the scale just stopped, you're not broken. A stall usually means one of a few controllable things quietly drifted. The goal isn't to try harder. It's to run a simple reset that removes the most common friction points.
Think of it like rebooting a system. Same plan, cleaner execution.
Over the next steps, you'll tighten your carb boundary, right-size your calories without starving, and make your protein more consistent. You'll also check hydration and electrolytes, because water shifts can hide fat loss for days. Then we'll look at sleep and stress, which can change appetite and water retention more than most people expect. Finally, you'll add a small strategic movement tweak that improves results without turning your week into a boot camp. By the end, you'll have a practical checklist you can start immediately, and a way to tell whether you're truly stalled or just temporarily masked by normal body fluctuations. Moving to slide 2. First, confirm it's a real stall. Many people call it a stall when it's just normal noise. Body weight moves with glycogen, sodium, inflammation from workouts, digestion, and hormones. A better test is a 7 to 14-day trend, not a single morning number. Use the same weigh-in conditions, then look at the average. Also track one other marker, waist measurement, how close fit, or progress photos. Keto can reduce inflammation and water early, so later changes can be slower and easier to miss. If your trend is flat for 2 full weeks and your waist hasn't changed, that's a true stall. If the scale is flat but your waist is shrinking, you're likely recomposing or holding water. And if you recently increased exercise, soreness alone can pull in water. The reset still helps, but your mindset matters, because you're making decisions based on data, not frustration. Moving to slide 3. Step 1 is the carb audit. Keto stalls often come from carb creep, where small extras add up. Sauces, dressings, coffee add-ins, nuts, and keto treats are common culprits. Another big one is portion drift with higher carb vegetables, like onions or tomatoes, where the food is healthy, but the carbs still count. For 1 week, simplify. Choose mostly whole foods and repeat meals if you can. Keep net carbs at a level that reliably works for you. Many people do well around 20 to 30 grams, but your personal threshold matters. Read labels, but don't get lost in them. The goal is accuracy, not perfection. Also watch sugar alcohols and fiber math. Some products still raise blood sugar for some people. If you want a clean test, remove packaged keto snacks for the reset week and see what happens. Moving to slide 4. Step 2 is protein consistency. Keto isn't high protein, but it's also not low protein. If protein is too low, you can feel hungrier, lose muscle over time, and burn fewer calories. If protein is wildly inconsistent, your appetite can swing and your results can blur. A simple target is to pick a daily protein range you can hit most days, then distribute it across meals. Many people do well with 2 to 3 protein-centered meals, each anchored by a clear portion. Choose foods you digest well: eggs, fish, poultry, beef, Greek yogurt if it fits, or tofu and tempeh if you prefer plant-based. Keep it boring for a week if needed. The reset is about removing variables. And remember, fat is a lever, not a requirement. Moving to slide 5. Step 3 is the calorie reality check. Without turning keto into misery, keto can reduce appetite, but it doesn't erase energy balance. Stalls often happen when calorie intake slowly rises through healthy fats. Oils, butter, cheese, nuts, and cream are dense. They're not bad, but they're easy to overdo. For the reset week, don't add fat just to hit a macro. Instead, let fat come mainly from your protein sources and cooking method. Use measured amounts of oils and dressings. If you snack, make it planned, not automatic. Another useful tactic is to tighten your eating window slightly, not as a rule, but as a way to reduce grazing. And if you're already eating very little and feeling run down, the issue might be the opposite: diet fatigue. In that case, a short maintenance break can sometimes improve adherence and training, which supports progress later. Moving to slide 6. Step 4 is electrolytes and hydration, the unglamorous stall breaker. On keto, insulin is often lower, and your kidneys tend to excrete more sodium and water. If sodium is too low, you can feel tired, get headaches, crave food, and even retain water through stress hormones. The fix is usually not more random water. It's better mineral balance. Start with sodium. Many people feel better when they intentionally salt food and use a simple salty broth. Then consider potassium and magnesium through foods like leafy greens, avocado, and nuts, or supplements if appropriate for you. Hydration should be steady, not extreme. If your urine is constantly clear and you feel washed out, you might be overdoing water relative to minerals. For the reset week, aim for consistent salt, consistent water, and watch how your energy and cravings respond. Moving to slide 7. Step 5 is fiber and digestion. If your digestion slows down, the scale can look stuck, even when fat loss is happening. Keto can reduce bulky carbs, and some people unintentionally drop fiber. Others do the opposite and overload on fiber bars and powders, which can cause bloating. For the reset week, aim for fiber from real foods: leafy greens, zucchini, cauliflower, chia, flax, and small amounts of berries if they fit your carbs. Pay attention to how you personally tolerate dairy and certain sweeteners, because both can create water retention and gut symptoms in some people. Also, keep meals simple and chew slowly. Digestion is not just what you eat, it's how your body handles it. If constipation is an issue, improving electrolytes, adding magnesium, and increasing low-carb vegetables often helps more than cutting calories further. Moving to slide 8. Step 6 is sleep and stress, because fat loss is not just a food math problem. Poor sleep can increase hunger signals and reduce the feeling of fullness. It can also push you toward quick energy foods, even if you're staying keto. Stress can do something similar, and it can increase water retention, which hides progress. For this reset week, pick 2 sleep anchors. One is a consistent wake time. The other is a simple wind-down routine, like dimmer lights and no heavy meals close to bed. Keep caffeine earlier in the day if you can. For stress, don't aim for perfect calm. Aim for a daily downshift, a short walk, breathing, journaling, or a hot shower. These sound small, but they change your ability to stick to the plan. If the scale drops after 2 better nights, that's not magic. Moving to slide 9. Step 7 is a movement tweak that improves insulin sensitivity and energy use without exhausting you. If you already train hard, the tweak might be more walking and slightly less intensity for a week. If you're mostly sedentary, the tweak is simple. Add a daily walk and 2 short strength sessions. Walking after meals is especially effective because it helps your muscles use circulating fuel. Strength training matters because it protects lean mass, and lean mass supports your metabolic rate over time. Keep it minimal and repeatable. 10 to 20 minutes is enough to create a signal. The point is not to burn off food. It's to remind your body to partition nutrients into muscle instead of storing them. And if you're sore all the time, that soreness can hold water. In that case, recovery is part of the reset. Moving to slide 10. Now let's turn the 7 steps into a 1-week plan you can actually follow. Days 1 and 2 are your cleanup days. Remove keto snacks, tighten net carbs, and set your protein target. Days 3 and 4 are consistency days. Repeat the same 2 or 3 meals, measure added fats, and keep salt and water steady. Days 5 and 6 are your recovery and movement days. Add the walks, keep strength short, and prioritize sleep anchors. Day 7 is your review day. Look at your 7-day average weight, your waist measurement, and your energy and cravings. If the scale didn't move but your waist did, that's still progress. If nothing changed, you now have a clean baseline, which is powerful. From there, you can adjust 1 lever at a time, usually calories, carbs, or activity. Moving to slide 11. A few common stall traps are worth calling out, because they can sabotage an otherwise solid keto plan. One is liquid calories. Cream, keto coffees, and frequent protein shakes can quietly push intake up. Another is weekend looseness, where 2 days erase 5 days of consistency. Alcohol is another big one, because your body prioritizes processing it, and it can increase appetite and lower inhibition. Then there's keto replacement food, desserts, breads, and chips made to look low carb. Even when the label fits, they can make it harder to stop eating. Finally, watch sodium swings. Eating very salty one day and very low salt the next can cause scale volatility that feels like a stall. During the reset, keep things boring. Boring is not forever. It's just long enough to get clear feedback from your body. Moving to slide 12. Let's talk about what success looks like after the reset, because it's not only a lower number. One success is a drop in cravings. That usually means protein, electrolytes, and sleep are in a better place. Another is steadier energy through the day, especially fewer afternoon crashes. A third is a change in waist measurement or how your clothes fit. Those are often earlier signals than the scale. If your weight drops quickly, be cautious about assuming it's all fat. Some of it can be water, especially if carbs or sodium changed. That's still useful because it tells you your plan is tighter. If nothing moves, don't panic. You've eliminated the most common errors. That's when it's reasonable to consider a more personalized adjustment, like a modest calorie reduction, a slightly lower carb target, or a structured maintenance week if you've been dieting hard for a long time. Moving to slide 13. One more important piece. Plateaus can have non-food causes. If you recently started a new workout program, inflammation can mask fat loss for a week or two. If you're not sleeping well, your appetite and water retention can change even if your macros are perfect. And for many people, hormonal cycles can create predictable scale patterns. That's why trend tracking matters. Also, as you lose weight, your maintenance calories can drop. A plan that worked at one body weight may need a small adjustment later. None of this means keto stopped working. It means your body adapted, which is normal. The reset week gives you clean information. If you want to go one level deeper, you can track your average daily steps, your protein grams, and your net carbs for just 7 days. Not forever, just long enough to see what lever actually moves the needle for you. Moving to slide 14. Let's wrap this into a simple checklist you can keep. Step 1. Run the carb audit and remove the sneaky extras. Step 2. Hit a consistent protein target. Step 3. Stop pouring calories from added fats and measure the dense stuff. Step 4. Stabilize electrolytes, especially sodium, and drink water steadily. Step 5. Support digestion with whole food fiber and remove triggers that bloat you. Step 6. Set 2 sleep anchors and a daily stress downshift. Step 7. Add walking and brief strength work, with recovery as part of the plan. If you do these for 1 week, you'll either restart progress or you'll get clear evidence about what needs a more specific adjustment. If you want, leave a comment with A or B. A means your stall feels like cravings and hunger. B means it feels like the scale is stuck but you feel fine. And if you'd like more structured resets like this, subscribe. This information is not a substitute for medical advice. Better signals, better metabolism, better life.